The times have changed. I know. What a boomer thing to say. However, I think you might understand what I mean. I'm not talking about, back in my day we had the SNES and Game Boy, and now people can't play anything that's not a 4K cinematic adventure. Or, we used to listen to Black Eyed Peas and will.i.am growing up. Now people just want to listen to Taylor Swift or that garbage rap music. No, that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I mean is, things have gotten worse in more ways than just one. Yet, to keep it somewhat non-controversial, I'm avoiding the political changes, and I'm going to focus more specifically on two things that affect the vast majority of the population, including me. The 90s is regarded as one of the most technologically advanced times in modern human history. That's fine with me. On top of that, many cultural icons and inventions were made during this era, specifically in the video game and music world. Video games went through its biggest evolution, changing its course through history to astronomical levels. We went from 8-bit and 16-bit handhelds to full 3D consoles, leading to the innovation of today's works. Things like Mario, Pokemon, Resident Evil, GTA, and so many more cultural impacting creations began in this era. While video games hadn't hit their peak quite yet, it was the start of what yet has to come, and was the pinnacle of many people's childhoods in today's modern times. As video games were rising, some of music's greatest artists spawned into the scene, like Nirvana, Radiohead, Beastie Boys, Rage Against the Machine, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and so many more. Entertainment reached a new level, and the spotlight was shifting to more broader audiences as people changed what they deem entertaining. It's a trend that's been consistent throughout time as time changes. Cultures grow, technology is growing, and people grow. But this is where it starts. This is the 90s. Video games used to really be a matter of war. And I don't mean in terms of what game is the best. I mean the console wars. The console wars are not real anymore. It's all bullshit. It's more like a console feud on which controller vibrates better on your balls. You know, it's not real anymore. The argument of exclusives don't even matter anymore because Microsoft hasn't made anything new in literally forever. Back then, back then, it was real. Blood was being spilled, friendships were ending, and Black Fridays were battlefields. The PlayStation 2 was such a revolutionary gemstone in gaming. It's arguably the greatest console of all time, and the only one that holds a candle to it is the Xbox 360. Both of these titans were creating conflicts in the gaming community bigger than the Super Bowl. Now, when the Xbox One and PlayStation 2 were announced, that was the peak of console wars. People were gathering with friends to decide which each would buy. Factions were formed to determine which side was cooler, and at the time, people were still buying games in physical form. Today, PC is the dominant and objectively best way of gaming, and I don't really think there's a problem with that from an outside perspective. My problem with it is that physical copies of games are rarely bought, and in some cases, you don't even own the game you purchase anymore. I mean, there was a time when you were staking outside your local GameStop on release night with both fingers crossed, praying that you get to buy Modern Warfare 2. You're sitting outside for so long, breathing in the sweat and fart from the 30-year-old single men who haven't showered since the game's announcement. It was great. I mean, what more could you ask for? or asking for Halo Reach for Christmas just to receive a copy from your parents and grandparents. Skins were unlocked with challenges and skill instead of $80 microtransactions, and playing online was optional, not mandatory. You'd go over to your cousin's house and play multiplayer while swearing you aren't screen peeking. Nazi Zombies just came out, and your 8-year-old trousers were soaking wet with your piss, seeing something so terrifying for the first time. I used to not even be able to handle being in the same room alone with Nazi Zombies while it was running. Even paused. It scared me so bad, it was awesome. I mean, does anyone even remember the little intro that Nazi Zombies used to have on World at War? Here's a clip of it if you've never seen it. I mean, that shit, to me, like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old child, I couldn't go to sleep because of that. I didn't even get a good night's sleep. I was just thinking about Hitler and his zombie boy toys coming in and tearing me from limb. You know, like, it's fucking terrifying. Now, if you don't have online for most games, you can't even play it. Consoles are only still alive because they're barely more affordable than PCs, and even then, it's possible soon that they become just as expensive due to Microsoft leaning towards AI and RAM being in a shortage. Games can't be made without microtransactions, and most don't live longer than a few months of relevance. A big reason for this certainly has to do with the YouTube community. Due to the fact that if a game can't produce content that is suitable for entertainers, then odds are it will never get played or it won't be perceived well by content creators and by proxy, viewers. Obviously, story-based games do still see success. However, it's very uncommon for these types of games to be made when compared to the 90s and early 2000s. Multi-game players are great. I actually prefer to play games with friends. However, I also like multiplayer games without battle passes, loot boxes, microtransactions, random cash grabs no one asked for, or compiling shaders every goddamn time I launch the game. Games used to be less than a gigabyte of storage. Now you're lucky a AAA company can make one less than 100 gigashits. The parts required to play games just keep rising, and so do the prices of games and parts. Yet this is just one piece of the puzzle we're putting together today, because video games are far from the only thing that have changed for the worse. As a musician and a longtime music fan, I'm speaking for a lot of indie artists when talking about this. The requirements in music have changed a lot in today's music.
But Mr. Dude, music doesn't have requirements. What are you talking about?
What I mean is, what is needed to make it in the industry has changed significantly. For one, labels have become practically useless due to the fact that they no longer search for talent. Trying to sign with a label is like trying to get any level of job. In order to be considered, you need to already have a huge following, and in most cases, still need to market your content. Labels are originally supposed to find, invest, and market new upcoming talent, not ride the coattails of already came talent. Now, I don't want to give every label a bad rep, because obviously they aren't all like this. Some do look for and help talent grow, providing them with the money they need to create their vision, and using the label's popularity and networking to market their artists to potentially new listeners and fans. However, the odds of you getting scammed out of your work and receiving little to any help outside of the money needed to produce your project are greater than you needing to breathe to survive. On top of that, albums, for anyone who hasn't already made it, are considered to be a horrible retention move for any upcoming artists. The attention spans of listeners have plummeted, making albums not the optimal way of gaining listeners. Singles, typically 3 minutes or less, are better for engagement. Some people might be thinking,
well, art is objective and anyone can have their own opinion of it.
Which is very true, but not where the problem I'm pointing out stems from. Let me put it in a different perspective.
Look, lady, whatever you're selling, I ain't buying, yo.
Well, my name is Skylar White, yo. My husband is Walter White, yo. Do not sell marijuana to my husband.
Okay.
Breaking Bad is regarded as one of, if not, the best shows ever created. Before Breaking Bad was released, TV shows and animated shows had an average runtime of 22 to 30 minutes, including commercials. However, Breaking Bad is arguably the show that broke that formula, with having episodes that ranged from 50 minutes to over an hour. While it might not have been the first to do it, it was one of the first to prove that it could be successful. Now, obviously, there are many other shows that have succeeded with this formula, like The Sopranos, Better Call Saul, or Game of Thrones. Yet, it has created a contradiction to an argument from most people. The average runtime of a full album is anywhere between 33 and 45 minutes. That's less than a typical episode. One episode of today's shows, and many avid watchers love to say how they can binge any show, yet cannot give half the time to listen to an album, or hell, even just 3 songs. Some people may be thinking,
Well, maybe the music is bad and I'm just not interested.
and that could be true, but you'll never know if you don't listen. It could be the exact opposite, and you could discover your new favorite artist. The biggest issue for indie artists today are 2 things: retention and streams, which all boils down to marketing. Most artists today are required to be everything. They need to make the music, mix and master it, produce it, make cover art, market it, be your own manager. It leaves them no room to develop one skill when they have to focus on every aspect of being an artist. Now, there are a lot of people out there who understand this issue and are very patient/supportive of artists, although the opposite is also very true as well. Some people have the argument that they have their comfort artists that they enjoy listening to, and that's all they need. Before I say what I want to say, there is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to listen to what you are comfortable and content with. Yet, at the same time, that still makes you a part of the problem. Again, nothing is wrong with that. But if everyone's excuse is that they're not interested, then you can't blame a guy for being frustrated. Don't worry though, because you are brainwashed to be this way. With new forms of media consumption coming from social media and other forms of short form videos like YouTube Shorts, you have slowly been trained to have shorter attention spans. If the first 3 seconds of a video can't captivate you, you've been told to move on. If the editing style doesn't feel schizophrenic, you've been told to move on. With all the new forms of short form media becoming an almost requirement in all media, people are believed to think that their time is too precious to waste longer than a few seconds on anything, which is just incredibly ridiculous. I mean, again, if you can binge watch an entire TV show, why can't you spend a couple of minutes listening to a song, or a few, in someone's discography? Well, it's because you can't. It's because of the way larger corporations have been making you consume media. It's because of the changes that are required to be made in order to keep retention. Most artists are told to make a song with stupid simple lyrics and a generic hook that is easy to remember, rather than actually taking the time to create something meaningful. Most artists are told if they aren't releasing a song every month that they aren't working hard enough, which I would argue is the opposite. Regardless, looking at all of this, all of what makes these problems a reality, the labels scamming people, social media making retention rates harder, or gaming companies screwing consumers, it all comes full circle to one issue. And that's you, or rather, us. We are the problem, and here's why. We have become complacent. When the big corporations present us with the dildo of scamming and suffering, we may complain, but we still plant our butts right on the shaft and take it. We don't do anything other than hop on social media or hop on Discord and whine. When a person points out a problem in someone, we become content stating ignorance, like,
Well, that's just how I am. I can't change that.
but you can. If a person or company does something you don't like or supports something you don't agree with, stop buying or watching their products. Leave bad reviews. Get on social media. Let your voice be heard so that others can be aware. If you notice a problem that you want to fix, then do it. You don't have to conform to a formula that you don't like or agree with. This has been the case since the conception of this country. Even our founding fathers thought and proved so. The people have the strength to make change. The people have the power to make change. We've seen it in movies, video games, online influencers, and many more. I know. This seems like a lot for just video games and music, but to me, this is important. I'm an avid YouTube watcher and music listener. Specifically on YouTube, I enjoy video essays, especially ones that talk about horror projects or true crime. I love when a creator really sets the atmosphere with dark light and music, with a voice that matches the seriousness and horror of the topic. If I pull up a video about a serial killer story and the narrator is talking to me like it's a happy sunny Saturday morning, or
in an uninterested, robotic tone,
I'm not going to be interested. Most influencers nowadays have this voice like they hired AI to read a script word for word.
Don't even bother crediting the original creators, let alone asking for their permission.
They don't even sound like real people. On top of that, their editing is filled with so many random motion graphics that it makes the TikTok editing with Subway Surfers or GTA races at the bottom look sane. A lot of times, it's a distraction from the lack of effort from the narrator. With just a little bit of time and low amounts of effort, I was able to discover some incredible YouTubers like Pharaoh Maguire and Muldered, who match the type of content that I enjoy. When looking at music, many artists like to steal beats off of YouTube and upload a song with 1 or 2 audio tracks once a month and call that a hard day's work. Even video games aren't safe. You can go on Steam and find hundreds of games that blatantly steal from other franchises, with one game very recently joining the pool. Now, with the use of AI, all of these issues have evolved times 10, making things much worse. AI is allowed to make money off of plagiarizing others' art, whether it be music, videos, or drawings. Yet, it all leads back to us in just accepting this. Whether we hate it or like it, we just move on, doing nothing about it. When we discover something that could be great, we either say, we'll check it out later, or just ignore what could be something well worth a watch or listen. Some people like to pretend that it's too hard to find something small or new, when that couldn't be further from the truth. Using the information that they steal and sell to others, corporations are able to face fuck you with things you've looked at, including social media. If you go on TikTok and watch one video of an upcoming artist's song, you'll be fed thousands after. If you go on YouTube and watch someone's video for the first time, you'll be fed more of their content on your front page. For example, an artist who I have had the pleasure of being introduced to through TikTok is a man by the name of Lev Dev, or ArtGrad. I discovered him after seeing one of his animations on TikTok playing his song Alright Alright. I immediately checked out his other works, and now I have some of his songs on my playlist just waiting to see what he makes next. Since then, I've discovered others in the same fashion and in other ways, like checking out public playlists. It's incredibly easy to discover someone new, yet the issue stems from a laziness of listeners hearing a 10 to 30 second clip and thinking, yeah, I've heard enough, or I'm content with this. Obviously, you don't have to like the art that is far from what I'm saying. However, if you can't even listen to a couple minutes worth of someone's music and then turn around and say,
Well, maybe it's just not good and you need to try harder.
Or,
I don't feel like clicking on this video because the thumbnail doesn't have enough clickbait, and the video, it doesn't have enough motion graphics to keep my child level attention span in check.
then unfortunately, I think the problem is you. Some of the biggest influencers today do little to no editing in their videos and are still huge, like PewDiePie, Moist Critical, Wendigoon, and many others. We are the problem, and we are the solution. Sure, that game isn't made by a AAA developing company with a huge budget, but it could end up being your favorite game. If you don't like it, refund it. Sure, that artist might have 30 monthly listeners. Doesn't mean their music is bad, and if you end up not liking it, no harm, no foul. That YouTuber might not have many views, but their voice, comedy, or gameplay could end up being the most captivating thing to you. All it takes is a chance. And hey, if you do like it, let them know. It'll be all the more motivating. I know I get more motivated when people leave comments on my videos, whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism. But if you're someone who comments mean things for the sake of being a dickhead, you are below the problem. You do nothing productive for anyone or anything. Your villainy is as relevant as the shit from my butt. I think most people don't realize how one small thing can be huge for someone's growth, whether that be for good or bad reasons. Comments, likes, shares, hell, even just a view can help creators. Just a single voice is enough to rally others, to motivate others, to bring happiness or justice to others. You have the power to make yourself and others changed, but first, you must recognize the problem itself. No one is perfect, and that's okay. No one is asking you to be perfect. We ask for your best self, your support, your time, or even just your opinion, so that we can make something that you'll enjoy. The times have changed, are arguably for the worst. Attention spans have dropped, AI slop is on the rise, gaming quality has dropped, scamming and plagiarism are rising in creators. Hell, they're even advertising gambling like crazy and are actively telling people to cheat in order to make it as a creator. It's our job to recognize this and hold people accountable. We don't have to settle. We can make change. And to all the small creators out there like myself, keep creating and don't give up. Keep improving, keep working, because to someone, your videos or songs or art means the world to them. And to the people looking for new artists and creators, or the people claiming they don't care, all they or myself ask for is a chance to prove to you that they are special, or they can make something that you enjoy. Not everyone will satisfy your wants or needs, but you'll never know who will if you don't look. We are creators capable of change, and together with dedication and effort, we can make the world change for the better in all kinds of ways. Although today I'm focusing mostly on the realm of video games, music, and content creation, next time you see a game that might be fun, hear a clip of a song from an artist you've never heard of, or a video that pops up on your YouTube page, just remember, give it a chance, because you, that's right, you can make all the difference. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you stuck around to here right now, to the end, me actively now, leave a like, leave a comment if you want to see more, leave a comment of what you want to see me talk about, and subscribe so that obviously you can see when I upload more videos. As stated in the video, I'm a musician in real life, so I have a link down in the description below to my Spotify page where you can check out all the music I have. And of course, I am working on more. And just thank you for watching this video. Go check out some other creators. Go listen to some of the music and watch some of the videos of the people I mentioned, in this video, because I think their stuff is great. And just remember, at the end of the day, my name is Cinema Dude, and what the hell do I know?